Hey everybody, this is basketball loving Dr. NBA. Today, I've got an interesting story to tell. There are various types of games for different sports in this world, and the characters inside them are originated from real life athletes. So the player stats and potential skills in reality change the difference in their stats in the games. So when a new game is out, every year players look at their own characters and are left low-spirited or get more motivated to work even harder. On that note, today I will introduce to you a player that worked his ass off from the bottom of the NBA to raise his stats in games to the max. From a situation where he could have gotten cut at any moment to suddenly becoming the fastest player in NBA history to become a top-class player with explosive skills, making all the gaming companies shocked. From being a little match girl who played day to day to becoming a Cinderella story, this player's name is Hassan Whiteside. We will get into exactly what happened and how he rose to the successful spot he is right now. (1989) North Carolina, US, in a city called Gastonia. Hassan was born, and he had 6 brothers that he grew up with. And because his father was a former NFL player, he had a lot of interest in sports from a very early age. And he liked basketball the most. At only 5 years old, he liked playing one-on-one with his older brother in the backyard of his home. And he competed against his brother's friends a lot, so his skill level was increasing at a fast rate. And with the NBA as his goal while attending elementary school, Hassan, as time passed and entered high school, he had the luck of growing 8 inches every year and slowly became the best center on the team. In grade 11, his average was 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 5.5 blocks, and he showed great performance in the paint zone. And 2 years later, to get his name out there, he entered a special prep school that would help him get ready for university and enter a program focused on basketball. He had actually, and like he planned, he got a satisfying result. At a height of 6'11", he went around tearing down opposing teams in the North Carolina region and recorded 34 wins and 2 losses. And he was ranked 87th in the nation, which was pretty decent. And right away, he enrolled into Marshall University, where they would help him improve as a center. And from there, he showed great defensive performance that shook America. And with his amazing power, he shut down all the offense with his blocks. In one game, he would block 9, 10, 11 shots. Wherever his position was, he successfully protected his rim. At the end of this run, he finished off with a total of 182 blocks, having an average of 5.4 blocks, and the success rate was 18.8%. And surprisingly, in those 3 categories, he was ranked first out of all university teams. And not just that, with rebounds and dunks, and his great shot touch, he showed off various different types of skills. And Hassan's potential was ranked 10 out of 10 points, and he was expected to go 10th in the 2010 NBA draft. And with great confidence, after finishing his first year, entered the draft, and surprisingly was picked 33rd overall. I won't forget the teams that passed on me. With that meeting, chose the number 33 for the Sacramento Kings, Hassan Whiteside. In the summer league where rookies and unknown players try to spread their names, Hassan played as a starting member and showed decent performances. And right after that, he was put in the roster for the opening game of the 10-11 season and got the attention of a lot of the King fans. And on that day, he got 2 fouls in 1 minute and 45 seconds. Because so, he was benched. And from that moment on, Hassan did not even play 1 more second on the court and spent his first year career in bitterness. At the time, his knowledge for basketball had lacked, and he was known to have no offensive skills in the paint zone. And that was the main reason he was pushed back to 33rd spot in the draft. And the head coach sent him to the NBA's G League so he could get experience and put him back in the NBA court in his second year. But different from what was expected, he hadn't improved at all, and as a result, after the season ended, he was coldly waved off. After that, there were no teams that called him in, and he had no choice but to play in a lower class league. And from December 14, 2012 for around a year, from the States to Lebanon, and even China, moved around and played for 4 different teams. And the last team he played for was a Chinese team in the 2nd Division League. And as if Hassan wanted to let out his frustration of failing in the NBA, he went around starting to destroy all the opponents with his physique and skills. From his first game, he put up 28 points and 21 rebounds stating his name, and he kept that momentum by not losing a single game with an average of 25.7 points and 16.6 rebounds, and 5.1 blocks as well. At the end of that, he had won the championship and won the Finals MVP award, and he was named the best defense and the best center. And from there with confidence, from November 2013 for around 7 months, for 2 teams in Lebanon and China, he went around destroying everybody. Especially in the Chinese 1st Division League, he only played 17 games, but had an average of 29.6 points, 16.4 rebounds, and 4.3 blocks, showing great stats. And to many players out there, Hassan Whiteside was a total nightmare. And with the successful career he had internationally, he started to knock on NBA's door once again, and he got the chance to wear the Memphis Grizzlies uniform and headed into the 14-15 season. Even though he was a backup player with no playtime, he was sure that he could catch an opportunity if he was given one, but Hassan, after the first game, was waved off right away. After that, for the Miami Heat, he was used as a backup player once again, and after sitting on the bench, 20 days later, like his Sacramento days, he was sent to the G League once again. But from that moment on, Hassan's fate would change. His value had dropped enough for him to be sent down again, but not wanting to get waved off again, Hassan played the first game in the G League with all he had to survive, and as a result, got 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks, showing very high stats. And the next day, he got the call to come back to the Miami Heat. At the time, the main center, Chris Bosh, who was a key player for the team, had suffered an injury the day before, so Hassan had gotten an opportunity. He would never lose an opportunity like this, so he used all the skills he had gained while playing internationally. He had gotten an average of 20 minutes of game time, which was not that much, but whenever he received a pass, he successfully made calm shots and showed a decent performance on defense. And Hassan suddenly, on January 25th, 2015, showed a shocking performance that NBA fans all over the world will never forget. Getting 2-digit numbers in 3 categories, he had gotten a triple-double for the first time. And the most surprising thing was that he didn't get it with points, rebounds, and assists. He had actually gotten it with 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 blocks was how he accomplished his triple-double. This was a very rare case. With his 7-foot height and with his insane wingspan of 7'7", he destroyed all the other big men, leaving them dead inside. And like his university days when he was ranked first in blocks, he smacked all the balls that went near the rim. And even his triple-double with blocks was done in the shortest time in NBA history, so he gotten more attention for that. The reason he could show such progressive great performances was because of basketball games. In an official interview at the time, he said that he wanted to raise his stats really badly in the NBA 2K15. And from the 2K company the next day, raised his stats from 59 to 77 immediately. And getting more motivated by this, Hassan, whenever he played a satisfying game, he would send a message to the 2K company asking for his stats to get upgraded even more. And he would explain in detail about why. And even on the official NBA TV channel, he had talked about wanting his stats to be raised in the game. And because of these actions, in the next season, the 2K company raised his stats to 81 overall. At the time, having put on 29 pounds of muscle and coming back, Hassan had the strength to not be pushed around by any big man now, showing great control in the paint zone and showing amazing slam dunks in opponents' faces. He went past just blocking shots in midair. He used a more difficult move. He would block and catch the ball in midair. And so, with his long arms and muscled physique, shutting down open chances for opponents with his timing and reflexes, this beast would get the blocking leader title and at the same time be ranked as the second best center on defense. Right after that, with Miami, Hassan was signed a maximum deal contract of $98 million for 4 years. There has never been a case where a minimum contract went to a maximum one in the next year in NBA history, except for Hassan Whiteside, finally getting the reward of working so hard when he was an unknown player. He had become one of the best centers in the NBA. In the next 16-17 season, he showed performances that fit his value, getting the blocking leader title again with a rebound title to go with it. Defensive rebounds were obvious. Hassan also got difficult offensive rebounds as well, pushing back the other big man out there. And seeing how he got so many rebounds, blocks, and dunks, the gaming company was moved by this, and the next 17-18 season, they raised Hassan's stats to 87 overall. And so, he had become a player that was acknowledged in the real world, and also the gaming world. Showing the fastest improvement in NBA history, Hassan Whiteside. But, now being at the top and slowing down on improving, the side effects were greed and arrogance. After becoming the rebound leader and entering the 17-18 season, his stats started to all drop. And the most serious one was that even though he was a starting member, his playing time was equal to a bench player's time. The reason was because of his selfishness that was not getting better. He didn't play the screen properly, which a center has to, and would just stand there, and his pick and roll timing was way too fast. And he would yell for the pass as well. And even if he got the pass he wanted, Hassan would never give a pass to another teammate. He had never gotten an average of more than 1 assist. That was how serious his greed was for the ball. And he didn't even have a lot of offensive moves in the paint zone, so he would just push his way in and make a hook shot. Or you would get a pass from a teammate while driving. So all his points were from passes. He was only able to do the basics. And even though he could make range shots and had a nice shot touch, his shot success rate was not enough to be trusted with. So his image in the team had slowly become a player that doesn't work with the team tactics and was selfish. And as a result, his playtime had shortened, and even his temper, that he had gotten criticized for in the past, had not changed neither. So he was known as a player that was not capable for their team strategy. His play did drop a bit because of his knee injury, but aside from that, he showed no devotion on fixing his flaws, and he didn't have any fighting spirit anymore, and he showed signs of giving up in games as well. And he complained of his lack of playtime, and he also complained about how the head coach had told him not to shoot 3-point shots. At the end of the 18-19 season, in the 16 times he shot 3-pointers, he only made 2 of them, and his mid-range shot success rate was at a disappointing 32.1%. And plus that, when the team was losing badly, he would go to the locker room and get ready to go home, and showed inappropriate behaviors. Miami Heat, getting upset by this, traded him off right away. Wearing the Portland Trail Blazers uniform, starting the 1920 season, Hassan Whiteside. With all that's happened and how his stats have dropped, in the NBA 2K20 game, his stats had dropped to 81 overall, like it was 4 years ago. But this number was able to change with the performance that was ongoing. And getting motivated by this, wanting to raise his stats again, he entered the court with a new mindset. And on November 29th, 2019, he put up 10 blocks, showing surprisingly great defense. And with that momentum kept going up. In the next games, he showed his best performance that could be compared to his days in Miami. His current average rebounds are 14, having the 3rd most out of all the players, and his 3.1 blocks per game average is currently at 1st place in the league. He's in a condition where he has let go of his greed on offense and the ball, and playing the screen productively. He even makes passes that fit the team's strategy time to time. And so, he has recently gotten a lot of good remarks from the critics and the fans. And at the time, his game stats surprisingly went from 81 back up to 87 overall. After going through all the ups and downs in the past, with a single twist, he was able to further higher his stats than before, and he has never been over 90 in stats. But if he finishes off this season nicely, it may be possible that he could hit that mark in the next 2K21 season. Okay, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with better content next time. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe.